Okay, we'll call the Town of Palmyra Ann Electors meeting to order, April 16, 2024, 6 o'clock p.m. at the Palmyra Eagle High School Community Center, 123 Per Oak Street, Palmyra, Wisconsin. Certification of compliance with open meetings law. Joe?
Yes, the agenda was posted on the website and on public boards.
Okay, before I get started, I'm going to introduce everybody here. Of course, I'm Frank Sauter, Town Chair. Michelle Smith, our new clerk, that just took over a couple weeks ago, April 1st. Rob Martins, Josh Gajewski. One thing I want to clear up, because I've been seeing some emails again going around the community. The three of us up here, the town board members, support 100% the airport, that are behind the airport, period, okay? We want the best, whatever it takes to keep the airport going, we're 100% behind it. There's some information floating around out there that says the opposite. Any comment on that, Joe? Okay, yeah, ending the public comment. At the end of item 4 on new business, we'll turn this over to the electors and go from there.
Did everybody get an opportunity to sign the public comment? Anybody not signed that does want to? Come on up. Sign up.
Right now, yeah, like when you go and, when you turn right, you go down east, when you go just over the bridge before that dumping on the left, the tree came down that way and there's branches all over the road.
I'll call the sheriff's department. That's a county highway. It's handled by the county.
Okay, well, anyway.
You got good hearing back there.
She did.
Maybe I talk loud. All right, anyway.
Anybody else?
Okay, Bonnie Wilson.
Do I need to state my address, or you got it?
Oh, hold on just a second. We're going to allow 3 minutes for this. Myself or Rob will let you know when 3 minutes are up. Now, what we're going to do is we're going to take care of everybody that's on this list. And if somebody decides they want to speak, we're going to allow that also. And if somebody that has spoke wants to re-speak, we'll do that again with a 3-minute time. Okay, go ahead.
Is this where I can make a motion during the public comment?
No, you're going to do that at the end.
At the end?
Right, after item number 4, when we turn it over to the electors meeting,
Then I can, okay.
to the electors.
Yeah, 2:45 left.
Mary Beth Schmidt.
This is comment concerning the airport and the project that's, pending for the T-hanger. My main concern is that there's just been a lot of back and forth, a lot of information coming and so forth. But what I want to get out is the fact that the BOA has done a lot of work up front, engineering, those types of things. And if the project does not go through, the board, the township is going to be on, the ropes for that money. That could be up to $100,000 that you would have to find. And obviously, we've had lots of discussions about there isn't extra money. So the project for the hangar is all pretty much covered through the BOA grants and so forth. But if it doesn't go through, there's going to be a dollar value that the township is going to have to pay the BOA.
And to address that, Mary, approximately 10 o'clock this morning, I got a direct answer on that, and you are 100% accurate in what you said. Okay, but we're going to let the meeting go ahead here, whatever takes place. But I did find that out 100% at 10 o'clock this morning.
And there's no reason it won't go through if costs remain the same.
Okay. Winona, you want to speak now? I know.
Are we gonna, Frank, are we gonna have discussion after the motion is made and seconded, and then will there
Certainly.
be a discussion?
Certainly.
Okay, I'll,
Are you making a motion?
they're making motions made. I would rather speak to emotion.
Catherine Olson.
No, no.
Wow, Suzanne Alexander.
That's me. I'm actually not prepared to speak at this time either. I kind of want to see what was said at the meeting. Thank you very much.
Okay. And we got Ed Meisner.
I want to, as a non-current pilot, I back the airport moving forward. It's imperative, the money it will bring in and does bring in is important. If anybody wants to find that out, you can go to Madison and get all that information, but we got to move with that airport.
We're behind you. Okay. Okay, that's it for public comment. Any old business to be discussed? We don't have anything listed, but is there anything that somebody can think of from last year? That's a long time ago. New business, pledge of allegiance. Pledge allegiance
to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Number 2, approve minutes from April 18, 2023, the annual electors meeting. Anybody want to make a motion out there?
I move to approve.
Dick Nature makes a motion to approve, seconded by Dan Johnson. 20, number 3, 2023 annual report. Did everybody get a copy of that? Oh, I'm sorry. Okay. We got a motion and a second to approve the meetings from April 18th annual electors meeting. All in favor, signify by saying aye. Aye. Opposed? Motion carried. Number 3, 2023 annual report. Did everybody get a copy of the wanted one? They're up here. Just want to make sure you have it. Number 4, set annual budget meeting.
The report hasn't been approved by the school board yet.
I make a motion that we approve contingent upon the town board reviewing and approving that the electorate approve the 2023 annual report.
Motion is made to approve the annual report.
Second.
Any further discussion? All in favor, signify by saying aye. Aye. Opposed? Motion carried. Number 4, set annual budget meeting date. Well, the 11th is our regular board meeting. November. The 11th is our regular board meeting. We should go on the 4th, 5th. I know we did one recently on the 6th of November in the past couple of years.
Is there a specific date it's supposed to be? Like first Tuesday of November or anything? Well, Tuesday, we don't want it the 5th because that's election day, right?
That's right.
So, Wednesday, if they're not gonna mess up the town hall for election, the 4th is fine, or the 6th again.
It should be the next week, according to Cory. She's got to get the.
Wednesday is 13th, Tuesday the 12th.
Anybody opposed
Tuesday
to
the 12th.
12th or 13th of November?
12.
Tuesday or Wednesday, 12th?
12.
I make a motion that we have the annual budget meeting set for Tuesday, November 12th, 2024, starting at 6 p.m.
Here? It'll be here. Okay, a motion's been made to set the annual budget meeting for November 12th, 6 p.m. right here. Is there a second?
Second.
Any further discussion? All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried. Okay, we're opening, it's electors time now. You want to designate somebody to run the electors meeting?
You're supposed to.
Okay, well, but you can designate somebody also. Okay, where are we going to start? Brian Wilson.
Based on what we've heard about, there's a T-hanger project going that's been trying to be finished. And if we don't finish that project, then the town is on the hook for what money's already put into it. And there's plenty of money in what's called the sponsor fee credit based on the 87 acres of land that was donated to the airport. So I'm making a motion because with the money from the government and the town's 10%, they're still short from that the bid for the hangar of $1,259,000. The money they're still short is $261,000. We have that money in the sponsor fee credit pool. I make a motion to authorize the town to allocate $261,907.22 to be taken from the sponsor fee credit pool, which was created by the donation of 87 acres to the town for airport use, to enable the completion of the T-hanger project for the town airport. After deducting the town's 10% sponsor fee from the $261,907.22, $235,716.50 will be restored back to the sponsor fee credit pool at the completion of the project.
Can I ask a question?
There's a discussion after.
I'll second.
Okay.
What's the name again?
Mary Beth.
Thank you.
Where did you go with 261? I thought it was 100,000 over the 125 is the way
I've been on the phone with Sam from the, what is his title? Sam Lee, who spoke at your board meeting. He's from, this title is the Airport Development Manager, and he gave me all the fees and the money, the amount that's gone in. And $261,000 is what we're short of the $1,259,000. There was, there's $997,777 of money currently available with the grant and the sponsor fee. The bid is $1,259,000, rounding it off. The difference is the $261,907 additional money they need to complete the T-hanger project. And that money can come out of the sponsor fee, which there's plenty there. It doesn't come out of the taxpayer's pocket at all. It helps the project to move forward and not be stopped for any reason. So then the town isn't on the hook for paying out of the town's taxpayer money for what money has already been put in. There has been some preliminary work done, and if the project doesn't move forward, then the project comes to an end, then the town taxpayer money has to pay what money's been put in there because now the project has been stopped. We wanted to move forward. The money's there in the sponsor fee credit, and we're just authorizing as the electors to let them go ahead and sponsor this extra money to the Board of Borough of Aeronautics so that they can move ahead get the project done this year. And someone asked the question, well, won't the bid change? And I talked to the Sam just a couple hours ago, and he said, no, the bid cannot change. The only way the bid can change is if they bid a new project. They'd have to put out new bids. So this bid is permanent. This dollar amount needed is permanent. All we need to do is vote yes, go ahead and approve that extra $261,000 out of the sponsor fee credit.
Okay, Al Bori, where are you?
Right here.
Those figures right? Al Bori is the chairman of the airport commission. And we've been obviously talking today, but are those figures right then?
I believe Bonnie's figures are correct.
You talked to Sam as well, so he shared the
I've
same
spoken to
figures.
Sam, he did not give me the numbers that Bonnie has, but yeah, it would seem to jive with the conversation that I've had with Sam.
So in other words, folks, money, as far as the township going to a bank and borrowing money, we don't have to do that. It all goes on the off the donated land, the value of that. Bonnie's explained it. I did, after I found out this information from Al approximately 10 o'clock, I got a hold of the lawyer right away. He sent me an email approximately 2 hours ago and advised that the electors should take this up at the meeting and vote on it tonight. That's exactly what we're doing. And I think it's a great idea, Bonnie. I can't speak for these guys, but I'm assuming they do. And now,
Well,
go ahead.
I have a couple of questions. Totally agree, we're all for it. What Bonnie said is what we understand as well. But I do have a couple of questions, just so everybody totally understands the finances here, the numbers on this. Well, first of all, you said it gets paid back, reimbursed. Who
Well, the
reimburses
value
that?
gets,
Right, the 200 some or whatever, the
yeah,
235,
it's
whatever
added
that
back
is.
into the sponsor
By
fee.
who?
By the Board of Borough of
By the state.
Aeronautics, from the fund.
Right.
Because the fund doesn't have the money now, but just like when you went through the disaster relief fund, you didn't get it last year because the fund ran out of money. And for this year, the
That's
fund
where-
doesn't have enough money, but next year they'll have more.
And that's where I was going, because everybody has to understand the reason it's short is because it was originally covered by the BOE, the state, but they're short of funds. So they also told us they're short of funds, but if we don't come up with the money, we owe them more money, we owe them money back. So they're causing the problem, but yet we're the ones who have to pay the price. That doesn't make a difference as far as approving this, we're gonna get the money back. I just wanted to make it sure, did they give us that in writing? That we get this money back?
That was verbal, I don't know about writing, but I've got figures, I'm sure.
I think
I
we-
have it in writing at home from Sam,
If you could share that with the board, not tonight, but
Yeah.
get it to us in writing, that'd be great. I'm just saying that so we're covered and everybody understands
Could
that.
I point something out?
Sure.
It's not so much that they didn't get the money. What happens is that every year, there is a set amount of money put into a pool for each airport in the state. That's part of the whole state airport system. The money that was put into our pool for the Palmyra Airport each year doesn't quite come up, it's this $261,000 short of what we need to get the project going and completed this year. That money will come in next year at the beginning of 2025. And at that time, our account gets credited back. And you know, one of the neat things is that I think we're the only airport in the state whose owner doesn't actually have to put up a cash sponsor fee. But because we have this land that serves as a credit pool, we can use credit out of the appraised value of that land to meet our financial obligation, and it doesn't cost us anything. And then over time, that all goes back in. It's sort of like depreciation as the project goes along. The monies get put back into that credit score.
So let's talk the donated land, let's just use a simple figure, it's $44.50. So this 235 comes off and slowly starts accumulating back. And
No, the 235 will go back in the 1st of January or whenever the next chunk of money comes into the firm.
And it'll reset, being worth, the pool will be, the land will be worth $450 again?
I don't know if anything's been taken out of it yet,
Well,
besides,
It'll
the
be there again?
235 will go back in.
That's the 50.
Less than 10%.
Less than 10. No, you're through 35, here's a 10%.
That's
So
less,
it's
that's
61,
already
less-
net.
Less than 10% comes out to 235.
One thing that I have learned by doing this, this whole thing, first of all, Sam told me back in November they had it, and all you have to do is pay the 10%. Everything was good until we checked.
Got the bid.
But that place, they have to do a better job of communicating with the chairperson of the airport commission, because there's a lapse of understanding there, and they're gonna have to communicate better with the airport commission in general. There's no doubt about it. Any further discussion?
Yes, I want to finish where I was going. So, absolutely agree, on board. Thank you, Winona. That makes a lot of sense. And if you could get us that email or whatever it is in writing, that'll be great.
Yeah, I will get it to you tomorrow.
Put it in the file. I just want to make sure everybody understood here the actual mechanics of this, why it's short, why we have to come up with this extra. And my comment about it being in writing is because who knows what will happen with the state, you know, we just don't want the town or the airport on the hook for this full amount by committing up front, and then the program potentially changes. So it's good, it's all out, everybody understands it, we can move forward.
Go ahead.
Bonnie, can you go back through a series of numbers that you mentioned, just to make sure that I've got them written down the correct way? The bid amount,
The bid amount is 1,259,684.34.
okay, and then
The
the,
money currently available is 997, 777.12. The difference between that then is the 261, 907.22 that has been listed in the motion to authorize you to go ahead and approve.
and the repayment amount that would go back into.
The repayment, after you deduct the 10% of the 261,000,
Yep.
you figure 10% deducted, and the amount that goes back is the 235,716.50.
Thanks.
Okay? And I can give you a copy of this if you need it. But these are the figures that I received from Sam, today, this morning, so we would understand where this is coming from. And I asked him a lot of questions, so I can understand where they came from. And he explained, there's entitlements of $150,000 a year, there's other kind of money, and also in there, there's, included in that is $166,666, that's 100% federally funded. That's included in that available money. But I says, we don't need to add all the different figures to get to the 977, or, 997. We just need to know what's available, how much you need, and that's what it came from.
Thanks, I appreciate you digging into that.
It's awesome.
Anybody else want to talk about this subject? Hi, Jeff. I'm sure you like this conversation, don't you? Very nice, yes. Okay, now the clerk has got to read this because it's supposed to be on the way we vote. And on this particular thing, she's going to read how we're supposed to do it. And we're going to vote on how to do it. And it's going to be done this time by show of hands, but it has to be read and followed. Go ahead.
Wisconsin statute 60.14 states that only persons qualified under state law to vote for state legislators, the president may vote at a town meeting. The person must be 18 or more years old and have resided in the town for at least 10 consecutive days prior to the meeting. Electors at the town meeting do not have to be registered voters, just qualified to vote. All actions of the meeting must be by vote. The clerk is required to record the method of voting and the result, so the town has an official record. Voting may be accomplished by paper ballot, show of hands, standing, or voice vote. Electors vote on which voting method to use.
So here are the electors, well, we're all electors. Who here is not a resident of the town of Palmyra? Obviously, you know you can't vote.
1, 2, could we keep them up just a minute? 1, 2, 3. back there too?
Yeah.
6, 7.
You're hiding back there. You can't see that far. Okay, now, by a show of hands, I'm going to list the four. Who would like to vote by paper ballot? 0. Show of hands.
Wait, show of hands on board.
On vote, on vote.
How to vote.
How to vote.
How to vote.
So, I'm confused. You said by paper ballot. Is that what this is?
You got a 0.
I got a 0.
So you didn't say what the next one was?
Show of hands.
Show of hands.
Oh,
Sorry. Paper was 0 now. Who wants to vote by a show of hands? Raise their hand.
boy, this is really hard to count.
Well, I think we already know.
I think we know
Which
it's
one?
eliminated.
But this, you're supposed to read this.
Hold them high.
Keep raising it and down. I think she got it.
No, I think I've lost it 3 times.
How close was it?
Well, I just counted 33 hands raised.
Okay. 33. Okay, standing would be the next option. Raise your hand if you want. And the last would be a voice vote. Okay, you're gonna do it by show of hands.
Sir, I don't believe you've gotten a second on your motion. She had a motion, but I don't believe anybody ever seconded.
Gary
it.
Duff seconded.
Okay, I'm sorry, I couldn't hear that back there. Just trying to.
Okay. Any, okay.
I didn't hear the name.
Bonnie,
Motion. Oh, this motion, okay, I thought you were talking about which way to vote. Okay.
So Bonnie made the motion.
Yep.
Mary Beth
Second.
seconded. We've had discussion. And reread, can you reread the motion one more time, please, Bonnie?
Don't do that.
Or-
Okay.
No, I don't have it. No, I don't have it.
Okay. Motion is to authorize the town board to allocate $261,907.22, $261,907.22 to be taken from the sponsor fee credit pool, which was created by the donation of 87 acres to the town for airport use, to enable the completion of the T-hangar project for the town airport. After deducting the town's 10% sponsor fee from the $261,907.22, $235,716.50 will be restored to the sponsor fee credit pool at the completion of the project.
All in favor of that motion, raise your hand.
Okay.
Well, it's wrong. You better be frank here. Keep your hands up, people. I'll count. No. Yeah. That was left. 50.
Oh, yes.
Yes.
Do you want to count those?
Not in favor, raise your hand. Okay, obviously the motion passes. Jeff, Al? We'll build your hangar. Thank you. You bet.
So do we have an accurate number of town attendees? If I didn't talk to you, or if you didn't get your name checked off, could you stop by so we can have an accurate count on that? It's hard to find your place in a crowd like this.
Okay, well, that subject is complete. Next, anybody else have another subject you'd like to talk about?
Yes, I would like to discuss the fire and EMS service, or lack thereof. I was wondering what the situation is. Is our service coming from Western Lakes or, no? And there's no, I understand Palmyra just hired a fire chief, police fire chief. And so now you are in compliance, but for the last 2 years, the town of Palmyra did not receive its fire dues. And this village did not either because the village was out of compliance. That's $20,000, almost a little over $10,000 a year fire dues that the town did not receive.
We did get it last year, according to Laura. We did get that.
You got it last year?
That's what Laura.
Yes.
The year before?
Yes.
Last year, yes.
This year's the first year that we were notified by USDS that we don't have.
What is the situation now
Okay, I'm gonna help you with that, Kath.
with the EMS?
Today, in the audience, who I asked to come here, is Shelley Lubis. I'm saying that right now. She is the chairperson of the Palmyra Fire and Police Commission. She's going to enlighten us on the chief's duties, if she can say whatever she can, as far as his job description. And also present with us is Mike Gartsky, who's the acting fire chief at this time, and so interim fire chief at this time. So first of all, I think I'd like Shelley to address the crowd, if you can, please.
Sure, stand up. Good evening, everyone. As far as your first question, if I heard that right, do you think that the fire chief was fired? Who posed that question?
No, I
She didn't say that.
there was a deputy
She's
fire
hired.
chief, there wasn't a fire chief. And the deputy resigned.
Right,
and
okay.
I just wondered what's going on with our service and where's our service coming from?
Okay. Of course, if you live in the town, you know that you're only provided the fire service, not the police service, just the fire service, okay?
Fire and EMS.
Fire and EMS, okay. So, just a little background. We hired a new director back in October. His name's Scott Chapman. He's the public safety director. He had a lot of experience, police experience, military experience, some limited fire experience. His official title is Public Safety Director. About 2 months after he started, the Fire Police Commission recommended to the village board that Scott also get the title of Police Chief. So now he has 2 titles. He's the Public Safety Director and he's the Police Chief. While that was going on, we had an assistant fire chief that was hired the year before. His name was Derek Curley. Okay. About probably less than a month ago, just a couple of weeks ago, Derek resigned. And since then, we have now approved basically our interim fire chief, Mike, who's sitting right next to me here. And that's kind of where we stand. You have a public safety director, you have an interim fire chief, and you have a police chief. But again, and I know that if you need police service, for the most part, I know that our Palmyra officers are probably going to respond along with Jefferson County deputies. So, but technically, you're covered by the deputies and not so much our officers. So
Chief Pavlik is the police chief and the director. He
Right.
has no title, he's not fire chief or
No.
EMS captain, commander, whatever.
no, he never had that title, never.
Okay, so he wasn't hired under that pretense, and that third hat is not on him. He does not
No.
wear that hat.
No.
For Thank you very much.
Okay?
There's a question, well, hang on, you didn't really answer the question about how are we going to be covered?
That's the next.
That's up to Mike.
That's up to Mike.
Well,
The commission's only responsible for hiring,
all
firing,
right.
and disciplinary.
And before we get to that part, can I ask a question? I've been told by various parties, including a couple of members of the village board, that the job description for Mr. Pavlik did include all three titles. I've also been told by other people it did not. Is the village now in agreement whether it did or didn't?
There was no such thing as that. I don't know where you're getting that information from.
Well, I can.
Our previous, James Small, our previous public safety director, he had fire experience, he had police experience, and those two combined made him the public safety director. Okay. Then when he resigned, when he retired basically, last spring, then the commission had to find his replacement. Okay. So we did an extensive search, and again, last October, we found Scott that qualified out of the two out of the three. But it's never really been in writing that a public safety director has to have all
That's not what a couple
three.
board members told me, but that's for you to look into.
Oh, okay,
Um,
yeah.
So can you talk to us about the other resignations? And I think that's why a lot of us are here wanting to talk about this. The town, and I want to represent the town here, as we all do.
Mhm.
As we are a customer of the Palmyra Fire and EMS, okay? We're not a true partner, we're a customer. Yet, we are a customer that without us, whether the department is viable or not, is a longer discussion, right? But I think we do want and deserve some answers, whatever you can answer for us. What's going on with the other 5, 6, 7 resignations? How are they being, what's the coverage being handled? And if this is Mike, that's fine. But what's the situation there so our town residents fully understand where the coverage is? Because response time is the key issue, I think, for all of us if there is an emergency. And if the staff is down that many people, I think the town deserves regular updates on what's being done as far as coverage, where the coverage is coming from, where the cost is being covered for this additional coverage if it comes from outside the community. Are these coverages from outside community going to be on site here so that response times, those are the type of answers we're looking for. And I certainly understand that some things you may not be talking about because there may be investigations going on, things like that. But from a town board standpoint, well, this is my opinion, these guys will have to speak for themselves. I think as a customer, in viability of the whole thing, we should be kept in the loop regularly so we can keep everybody here and all of our other residents informed. So some of that you may be able to answer, some Mike may be able to answer, but we would like you to address those.
Well, I'm all about keeping everybody informed, but I am limited as to what I can say, okay? As far as staffing, I have to turn that over to Mike and give him a little slack. He's only been here about 2 weeks, so he's still learning. Mike, want to address some of those?
Well, we may come back to you then.
Well, good evening, everybody. Thanks for having me here. My name is Mike Artsky. I'm officially my second Tuesday of being hired, so not quite 2 weeks yet.
Okay.
I can certainly understand and appreciate your need for being covered. When I dial 911, I want to make sure somebody's coming. And as of right now and today, you'll get that. We have no paid outside agreements for somebody to come and sit in our firehouse, provide coverage. We do have agreements that we've had long-standing with our surrounding communities. Kettle Moraine Fire District, it's called now. I just met with their chief the other day. Sullivan, Western Lakes, and
LaGrange? No?
not LaGrange. Haven't talked to them yet. Whitewater. So we have always had those agreements where if we have a significant event, whether it be EMS, fire, we have automatic agreements that say, this is gonna be bigger than, and we have those agreements with them too. If they have a bigger event,
Sure.
we go there. So you're always gonna have people coming. Right now, our minimum staffing is 2 EMS personnel in the firehouse, is what we're maintaining with our own people. Because of the people that you see standing here currently, there are people and they're stepping up and covering those shifts vacated by some of the people that you mentioned that left. For whatever reason, I have no idea, was not involved, nor do I really care to be at this point. But my goal right now is to regain those personnel, firefighter EMTs, and get those people in place so that our current people don't get too burned out from covering extra shifts and that sort of thing. But right now, as of today, we've been covering with our own people.
24/7?
24/7.
From our own?
From the Colorado Firehouse, and it's because of these people that are stepping up. So Scott and I are going to sit down at the end of this week and discuss strategies of getting more new people in place to better affect the coverage, so we don't have our own people working too many hours so that they're not burdened with being there all the time. But we are stepping up and we are covering all those needs as of today, so.
And I'm assuming you're paying overtime? So there will
The
be
pay
increased cost?
aspect of it, I haven't really been privy to at this point, but I'm assuming that the people that are full-time get paid overtime, and people that are paid on call or paid per shift are getting paid their wage, and if they go over that time, I can't answer that 100% at this point, because I really don't know what the pay aspect of the whole situation is.
And everybody, the reason I bring up the cost, it's not going to impact us this year because we have a contract, but the contract will be up at the end of 2025, and I'm bringing up the cost, so we go into those negotiations for the next contract, we're cost conscious, and understand that, all aspects of current costs that could impact the next contract. That's why I'm asking.
Sure. Yes, sir.
How many positions currently need to be filled?
That's a great question. That's a discussion that, like I said, Scott Pavlock and I are gonna have this week yet. What positions we think we need to effectively run the fire station on a regular basis. That would possibly include new full-time firefighter EMTs, not firefighter police. So that's a discussion I get to have this week yet. Like I said, we're kind of formulating things as I go along here to see if, I don't even know how many people left until it was briefly mentioned tonight, so.
Shelley, can you help us out?
Well, I was just gonna say.
Let me just a second. How many, I want to take a little bit further than you did. How many people, how many EMS and fire people constitute fully staffed, and how many do we have today?
Okay, that I don't have those exact figures. The only thing I can tell you is, when Mike and Scott talk as to what their needs are gonna be, then they present that to the village board, basically. And it's up to the village board then to determine what's in the budget and what they can afford, basically.
Right, but as chairman of the Police and Fire Commission, you don't currently know how many is theoretically fully staffed? You don't know how many you had?
How many we had? Okay, well, it's changed.
How many resigned?
That number, I don't want to get into.
Why don't you want to talk about this?
Police and Fire Commission hire, fire, discipline. The people that resigned were not hired, fired, or disciplined. So why would the Police and Fire Commission have that number? I guess is my question to those that are asking.
They do the hiring, don't they?
They do the hiring.
They set the strategy, the staffing, et cetera, et cetera. This is not being critical.
No,
This is
no,
getting our
but,
people
and that's what
information.
I'm trying to explain, is the Police and Fire Commission, when they are brought a pool of people, they say, yes, this is an appropriate person to hire, or no, this is not. That is the extent of their hiring, correct, Shelley?
You're right.
So they don't say, well, you need to bring us 5. We bring them 3 or 5 or however many applicants we have, and they basically they're blessing them, saying, yes, this person is appropriate to hire for a position.
Let me
So
ask
how
you-
many are they looking for then?
Well, I guess if I could talk to that just briefly, that's one of the discussions that Scott and I are going to have this week, to come back to them and say, we need this many people to run our fire department, fire and EMS department effectively. I think what they, now, I am just spitballing here, but the way things were prior to me coming here are not going to be the way it's run from here on out. So for us to give you a specific number of people today and say, I need 18 people, this is not 18 people, we're just throwing it out there. We could take that to the board and say, well, no, we can't afford that many people, but we could give you 6. You know, that's gonna be a little bit back and forth. Whereas I think prior to this, there were cross-staff people, police and fire, or just EMS or just fire. We want to get something that's more of a firefighter EMT, so that if you get a call out here, no matter what it is, we have the personnel in the firehouse to come serve you. You know, that's our biggest goal, is when you guys dial 911 for your emergency, we have the right people in there. Prior to that, I don't know if you did or didn't, I wasn't here, but you know, if we have people that are dual role,